What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my fighters? I'm One Eye Bright, also known as PT. You don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about things you may have missed, callbacks, Easter eggs, connections. We're going to break down a little bit Season 11, Episode 13, so obviously spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. Now, did you catch these things? I put an easy one on the cover right here, the MRE. I didn't want to, the thumbnails are tough. If you put something in the thumbnail, someone hasn't seen the episode, they're like, spoilers, bro, thanks a lot, spoilers. But right at the beginning, I thought it was interesting that they focused on Elijah. And when they focus on characters a little bit more, it's not usually good unless they're a main character. But the arrow hits the walker upside down, meaning that things are upside down. It was very symbolic. And then when we see the map, it's upside down as well. So was it meaning that things are upside down at Hilltop? They're not going well. But if you flip the map over, you can see Hilltop in the very top corner of the map in the right. Riverbend right there is the community settlement building where the chaos breaks out. Now, it's interesting that Elijah says the name Georgie. Is it so-and-so? Is it Georgie? So we saw it here. And then last episode, Georgie was mentioned again. So did they mention Georgie on purpose? Are we ever going to see Georgie again? Is she really a throwaway character that we're never going to see again? Because that's pretty crappy if it is. You know how we feel about loose ends. Now, we saw the MREs right here, the little pouch, and they do have a shelf life. It's a long shelf life, but they do go bad. It takes me back when we saw them in season 7, I believe, with Rick and Michonne, and they had a nice romantic dinner with the candles and the good old days. Well, season 7 is not the good old days, but Rick, Michonne back on the show. Will we see you again at some point in this series? Maybe a spinoff, but we see the skulls in the back. And as soon as I saw this, I know they're human skulls, but it takes me back to season 3 with the governor. The human skulls, the zombie skulls, the trophies. Basically, that's what they are. So the governor had walker skulls. This guy, I don't know his name. If you know the character's name, please let me know in the comments. But the actor is Michael, and I say the name wrong, the last name Michael Biehn. But either way, he's in Terminator as Kyle Reese. Hicks and Aliens, 2 of my favorite movies. Well, he doesn't make it. He gets killed off. And as soon as I saw Carlson moving his bottom jaw or the chin there, reminded me of the Savior when they were doing the same exact thing, like in season 6 with the Walker head. Here, it's walkers, there, it's people. But the ventriloquist act takes me back to there too. So I don't know if they're going for that, but I do love it when we have Easter eggs, callbacks, and connections. And Carlson probably would have fit in real well with the Saviors because he's a psychopath, and so were a lot of the Saviors, right? So it kind of fits these two groups. But we see this character, again, I don't know his name, but Michael Biehn, Terminator Franchise and Terminator 1 takes me back to season 10, episode 19 with Robert Patrick. He's in Terminator 2, 2 major people from the Terminator franchises. And this story in this episode reminded me a lot of Father Gabriel, Aaron, season 10, episode 19 with Maze. But if you remember the Dwayne Jones bourbon bottle, it's right there and it's also right there. So it came back around again, which is always good. I remember when people were like, oh, is it an Easter egg, a foreshadowing of Morgan Jones's kid? Well, I think it's a Dwayne Jones thing from another zombie movie, and it could be a callback to Dwayne Jones, but he's not coming back around again. Also, Crescent Falls Distillery, the bourbon, right before Carlson was making people fall off a roof. It was nice foreshadowing, so I saw a little connection there, and we all can agree that the Toby character is pretty terrible, but I saw a lot of connections with season 10, episode 19, Aaron, Father Gabriel. It just reminded me a lot of that, the way it was shot, the characters, the story somewhat, and the characters have come a long way, and I did like the action sequences. It just ended it abruptly. Now, also, I saw red, a lot of red, all I see is red, and I know the haters will be like, it's just a color, bro, and yes, it is, but is it foreshadowing for Aaron? Herschel, you see it right there, looking a lot like Glenn with the hat. I have to say, it's always a good callback to see that for sure. But let's get back to the photographs on here. Is that a Herschel Easter egg right there? Kind of looks a lot like Herschel with the suspenders. That's what I saw there. But when this character was going through the iPhone, or is it an iPod? I don't know what this is, but I think it's like an iPhone. But they took pictures on this. Aaron stepped his game up, but when we saw the other photographs in season 5, this is definitely Aaron when he sees it in season 6, but the same photographs made the wolves come to Alexandria, and Michonne saw the photographs, the paper photographs, Aaron stepping his game up using technology here. The Commonwealth is just a bigger, better Alexandria. But when Aaron first met our group, I have good news. And he has his hands up like this. When he was running towards Maggie in season 11, episode 13, I thought it was the same thing. He's like, hey, here he's only got one hand, but it was kind of a callback to me. Did you think that? Did you agree? Let me know your thoughts. Now, when Maggie was driving, I couldn't help to wonder, eyes on the road, Maggie, what are you doing? It was one of those things where you're like, yeah, I know you're driving on a set, or the car wasn't even driving, the background was just moving, but she was moving the wheel way too much, and she kept looking at Lydia way too much, eyes on the road, and then she almost crashes into the walkers, and it was like, yeah, that's about right. Ultimately, we see our group take out the walkers, but if you look at the key right in the center, it's out of focus, and then it's focused on right here, so they pause on it. Is there something to it? When we saw the key stuff before, a key to a future, another callback to Georgie, is it a foreshadowing moment or a callback, Easter egg, or connection in the past? Now we know that the Commonwealth has checkpoints, that's what this is all about. The checkpoints, the stuff that was supposed to go to Alexandria that didn't, and we saw that the Commonwealth soldiers had their throats slit and they were killed by someone that knows how to take people out. I'm going with it's Leah because it makes more sense for that to happen. The people at Riverbend didn't do it. They said they didn't know what they were talking about with the guns. We know that we're going to see Leah again in part 2. Sorry for the blurry photo, but yes, that's Leah. She should come back around again, hopefully next episode, and be explained. So let's talk about the red stuff, right? So we know that Herschel has a red shirt on. Will they really kill Herschel off? I don't know, but if we're going to get the Maggie Negan spinoff, how does Herschel fit into that? Is he in danger? We're going to get more and more foreshadowing for that. We see Lydia right here with a red lantern behind her. It's a blink and you'll miss it type of moment. Also, I showed you before about the red candles right there, kind of in line with Aaron. So as Aaron, Lydia, maybe Herschel in danger. Also on the bag, you see red marks all over the bag, and they're subtle. They're subtle little hints. But I think that we saw a foreshadowing moment potentially here with the Commonwealth troopers being killed in a precise way by someone who knows how to do that. Leah is out there. So if Leah is responsible for taking the guns and the food, which she should, right? We know we're going to see her again. She has no allegiance to our group or anything there too. Maybe a Reaper or something survived, or she's by herself and she's doing it. Maggie spared her life. She shot her in the arm and Leah went away. But if she is responsible for taking the guns and causing these problems, and Maggie finds out about it, that it was Leah's fault, again, Maggie spared her life, so did Daryl. But we know that if Leah did something there and the Commonwealth ends up killing either Elijah, Lydia, Herschel, God forbid, if that would happen, that's going to cause some problems. And we know that 6 months from 1109, there's some problems with Maggie and Daryl and the Commonwealth. Now we also know that Elijah's here, so Elijah looks to be alive. But what about Lydia? Lydia could die. So I think Lydia's in danger. She's got the red lantern there. You know, something's going to be brewing between Maggie, the Commonwealth, Daryl. You know, it's going to happen and go down because we saw it in 1109 at the very end. So I can't wait to find out. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Stay safe. And as always, tell them Daryl.